This meeting is being recorded.
Hey everyone, welcome to the show. I have Mira Katyal here. She is a holistic counseling and lifestyle coach and also a Reiki master teacher like me. So we have that in common. And I wanted to welcome her to the show and please tell us a little bit more about yourself.
Thank you, Tina, for having me here. I'm so glad to be here. Yeah, and I read about you and looked up your podcast. It's very interesting, bringing all different unique experiences. Yeah, so I'm basically a holistic healer, and I have been interested in my own issues for the last 25, 30 years. I had I have a family of four Western doctors, and it's very different logic in the Western medicine. You have a physical ailment, you go to the doctor, you get a pill or surgery, whatever. But it just is not a deeper level of healing. And it's just, if the issue is solved a little bit like allergy and you keep taking antihistamines, it's just management. It's not a deeper wellness, a satisfaction, a wondrous growth of the self. That's not there. This is only possible with holistic healing. And it's a lot of things because every culture and every level has come up with something holistic. And I've tried so many things, so many things. Like you, I'm a Reiki master, and I've tried Ayurveda, I've tried hypnosis, I've tried uh, cranial sacral therapy or Chinese medicine. But each one brings, n- I've seen that the whole spectrum is that there is the body and the mind. These two parts have to be balanced and be brought back, you know. So that's why I offered the lifestyle therapy, and it helps even with the emotions like anxiety, anger, or depression, or um, you feel isolated, it's because of your constitution. Because in Ayurveda, we have the constitution, and the constitution dictates what kind of attitude and body and everything you have. And when you understand that, you can bring in the healing. And the other part is the holistic aspect, counseling.
Mhm.
Why? Because I can give you a regime and you can do it. But if your deeper self is not involved, it's just not the same. You know, to understand where your anxiety is coming from, where the imbalance is coming from deep within you, that when you cover that piece and you add it to the lifestyle piece, it's like a whole new ball game.
Yeah, so like I also took lots of different, I tried many different things, right? I read lots of books, took many classes, many different teachers. You want to try a little bit of everything when you're exploring. And so
Exactly.
you mentioned before we started recording that you took a class on connecting with the spirits of plants. So tell us a
Yes.
little bit more about that.
So basically, I joined this herbal course, which was a very long 4-year course, which I didn't end up doing. Instead, I did Ayurveda. But the teacher is very like a shaman kind of a approach. And he had this workshop, beautiful workshop called Spirit of the Herbs. And it was a week-long stay in this countryside with the woods and everything. And I had no idea what he meant, spirit of the herbs. I thought we are going to learn about the essences of the herbs. We're going to make some medicines. Little did I know I'd actually speak to the spirit of a plant and was the most uh, like a mind-blowing experience of my life. So what happened is that the teacher said, okay, go and find a plant that calls to you, a kind of a weed or anything that calls to you. You make a drawing, and he taught us how to meditate. And then you have to go and give offering to the plant during the whole week, and uh, like establish a communication that I'm coming and I'm going to be with you, and please offer me your wisdom, plant wisdom. And the thing was that it was going to be at midnight when we would sit with the plant, give the offering, and go into the meditative state. And receive whatever information the plant had to offer. So that was the part which I was completely unprepared for. So it was around 12 in the night, and we all went to the spots we had found in the daytime, and our and had earmarked our plant, and went to the plant. I gave a little offering. I sat down. Was Remember, it's night and it's actually the countryside, and my heart started beating faster because I'm. It's one thing to sit with a plant in the daytime. It's one another in the middle of the night when animals can be roaming. And it didn't help when the teacher said, "Be careful, there's coyotes, but they don't come over." I said, "Wow." And I didn't know anything about this plant except, of course, the looks, and I had drawn a picture. So I sat with the plant and I offered the offering, and I said, "Okay, please let me know what is your medicine and what is your wisdom." And the plant, and suddenly I saw the plant, like I can. It's a mental image that the plant is lighting up like a green aura, and it was so real that I actually got frightened, but I stood my ground, and I said, "What medicine do you offer?" And I saw this hand, which is like a old knobbly hand, so it was
Mhm,
like I understand. It was like, this hand is like maybe has joint pains or something. It was that kind of a look on the hand.
mhm,
And it also, like, what wisdom, like you bring light to darkness in the world and things like that. So that was the whole experience of seeing the light in the plant and that hand and everything. And it was like, after that I just couldn't sit there too long because I was really frightened. And I ran all the way back to the accommodation, and we had to immediately journal everything, and I did. And the next day, we went to class, and we shared our experience, and I explained mine. And he said, "Yeah, this is the wild carrot plant, the wild carrot weed." And it was all very nice again in the day. Everything's good. Anyway, when I went back home, I Googled this plant. And one
mhm.
of the things, it does offer relief for joint pain. So this is how you can respectfully work with the plant spirit. And they share their wisdom, and they share even higher teachings. That was my first experience.
So did you hear any words from the plant, or you only saw
I
like
only saw.
saw pictures or visions from the plant?
Yeah, I saw
Okay.
pictures and visions. It's very similar to dreams, like how you have a dream, and sometimes you know the meaning of the dream, right? You
Mhm,
know, okay, this is what it means. So that's how it was. Except I was completely unprepared for the depth of the vision, the coloring and everything, and also how it matched to the if you look, if there's a lot of literature on plant medicine I mean, in the books and in Google. So it did accurately match their its application.
mhm. So did you ever end up using the plant for any purpose after that?
Not really. I didn't. I became very respectful to wild carrot weeds, and whenever I see one, I still remember my experience and just kind of bow down to it. But I have had another experience with the sumac, and again, it was a dream journey and speaking with the plant spirit. But now, of course, I had the experience, and it wasn't at all like bizarre or scary. And you do receive wisdom. It was like, because I'm dealing with Ayurveda, and I know there are three constitutions. Like, there's a windy constitution, a fiery constitution, and a watery constitution. So the sumac plant had the drink, the sumac itself. If you make a drink out of it, it's very soothing, cooling, and healing for the heat
Mhm,
and some of the disorders with it. So, yeah, I got extremely wonderful experience with that. It showed me how it's a very moisture laden. There was images. It was like as if the heart was like there were some. flowers coming out of the heart, and that you could drink uh, and feel nourished. So it was like a medicine for the heart also.
Mm-hmm.
And it, it was like, it's like having a full conversation, except you have to be very, you have to go through the steps, like go into the dream, semi dream journey. Like when you're sleeping, you have no control, but when you're, it's like daydreaming, and then you receive images, and afterwards you journal it, and then you interpret it. So it means something to you, like just like dreams, I
Yeah.
some people can see pictures and dreams, some people hear things. Everybody has a different way of knowing. So for me,
Yeah.
it's very visual.
So how long did it take you to connect with the plant? Do you have any idea? Did you have to sit there for a long time, or did it happen pretty soon, or?
It was straight away, but it was there was a lot of preparation before that. I mean, I
Mhm.
was there for a week. I was learning how to meditate, how to be give offerings and give reverence to a plant. So I had spent um, a week with the plant. I mean, on and off. But
Mhm.
when the actual medicine or the actual message came through, it was not long, not even 15-20 minutes.
So have you connected with other plants since then, or?
Uh, no, because you have to be in the right frame of mind, and you have to be very respectful, not grumpy, irritable. You need to be in a good space,
Mhm.
and you have to you have to be very respectful for the messages. So basically, I do work with herbs all the time because of Ayurveda, and we know all the qualities of this herb can do this and this can. So I am working with herbs, but at the spirit level, it's more special. So you have to create a special atmosphere and go in.
Yeah.
And I only like to go when I'm really ready and to take, not just hang out there, but just to really when I'm stuck and receive some message. Yes, that's the time.
What kind of offerings do you make to the plant?
So in the shaman world, they give tobacco leaves,
Mhm. Okay.
but in the Indian world, there's a lot of offerings. Like you can give milk, you can give water, you can give um, like so many of the things you use in temples.
Mhm. Mhm.
Articles like that. Yeah, aromas, essence.
Have you ever tried to connect to something else besides a plant, like a stone or a tree or anything like that?
Yeah, plants and trees would be the same, and I'm sure stone also would have a spirit. Now, I do believe everything would have a specific spirit, but mostly I connect more to if you have a deity or an angel. Um, Actually, prayer is one way of connecting. So, but this one, I would only do it with the plant.
Mhm. And before I was started recording this episode, we were talking about, or you were talking about how disconnected everybody is, and
Yes, absolutely.
how this is an example of probably how our ancestors used to connect to nature all the time.
Very true. Actually, I think 50% of our problems is because of our disconnection. The earth is getting polluted, the earth is getting hotter. We are all more, we have more material goods and less internal satisfaction, less happiness, more psychological issues. I think the major reason is this disconnection from spirit, from our own spirit, from nature itself.
Hmm.
So when you are connected with spirit, like after that experience, you can't help becoming more respectful to plants. You cannot look at them with the same, with the old eye where you it's just a cut piece. It's like, we ask permission from the plant. Can I please receive wisdom from you? Can I receive plant wisdom from you? So, can you imagine us being so respectful to plants and animals and rocks? If this was the attitude of everyone, we would suddenly stop being harsh with the environment,
Mm-hmm.
just cutting up everything, digging up everything, killing anything. It would be so different. And you know that these tribes in the Amazon forest are they're very respectful to their environment. They only take what they need. So that kind of revolution can come. And then not only that, you feel so much more connected, satisfied. You don't need to sit and watch Netflix all week to feel some sort of, control of your mind,
Mm-hmm.
some kind of fulfillment. Because when you're sitting in nature, everything is very satisfying and fulfilling. And it's not just nature outside, it's also inside, right? So that sense of connection, that sense of satisfaction is not going to come until you reach that level of spirit.
Yeah, like I even approach nature very respectfully. Like whenever I go swimming in the ocean, I always try to acknowledge the beings that call that ocean home, you know?
Actually, yeah, and I'll tell you one thing, when you say it, they actually hear you.
Yes, I know. That's why I never have a problem. That's my little secret, everybody. So in South Carolina, we have a lot of snakes.
Okay.
And people have snakes in their yard. They see it in the front porch. They walk through the woods. I will tell you, I've spent 6 years here and I've only seen a baby snake. That's it. I've never seen a big snake in the woods. I've been in the woods, in the swamp. It's because every time I go into the woods, I have a little conversation with the snakes. And
Okay.
I say, snakes, I know that you're here. I know this is your home, but I am
Exactly.
walking on this trail and I ask you to please stay off the trail so I don't accidentally step on you or get in your way. And then I thank them.
Yeah. Yeah. So exactly, this is the kind of outlook we could all have. And it allows us to coexist, number one. And number two, it increases our connectivity with each other, which is because we are anyway a part of nature. Everybody is a small part of nature. And if you feel you're not a part of it, then you feel the isolation in yourself, So, and then you cannot tune into the support offered by nature because you're just not aware of it. There is no attunement.
Yeah. So think about it if you have black widows in your garage, for example. I saw one of my neighbors complaining about that. You gotta look within and ask, why are these spiders in my garage? Do I have some sort of fear of spiders that's drawing the spiders to me to teach me to have a more benevolent, relationship with them?
Could
So,
be,
like,
yes.
don't you think when you fear things, you draw it to you?
Fear will always be there because it's like night and day. Like you can't have a North Pole and not have a South Pole.
Right,
It's the spectrum. Like you have heat, you have very high heat and so low heat that it's cold. So fear is the opposite of love, except where are you attuned to? If you're attuning yourself to fear, that becomes your reality. And if you're tuning yourself to the love portion, part of the spectrum, that becomes your reality.
right.
So it depends where you are on the spectrum, but they are two sides of the same coin.
Hmm.
And of course, if you're in fear, that means the other side is love. So
Or
you can
or
always make the switch. It's
or
possible.
even respect or reverence,
Reverence,
or
respect.
a little reverence for other living beings goes a
Yeah.
long way, a very long way.
For example, in Ayurveda, is fear is actually a symptom of disconnection. So if you're disconnected with your own self, if with your higher spirit, with the universal spirit, it's like a baby, the mother is the source, but if the baby loses sight of the mother, it gets very frightened.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what fear is. You just lost the connection. So if you can connect back, the fear will recede.
Right.
So for adult spirituality, the spirit of nature is our connection to that constant source of love and healing.
Yeah. And if you're fearing something that may probably won't happen. For example, if I'm going to walk in the forest and I'm afraid to see a snake, I'm most likely not going to see a snake. So, and I haven't. I'm telling you, I haven't. I've seen a baby snake. That's it. So, yeah, so that's really, yeah, I think that's really important. And I think it's something we need to come back to. We need to
Right.
start understanding we are part of nature and we are part of the earth. We are not disconnected from it. We're not here to dominate it.
Yes.
Um, so can you, because you're a Reiki master teacher, how long have you been a Reiki master teacher?
It's been about 4 or 5 years now. I started in 2012 Reiki, so it's been a while now.
Yeah. So why don't you share with the audience one of their best healing stories from Reiki?
Reiki never ceases to amaze me. Never. Actually,
Me, the same, the same.
I learned more about Reiki when I give treatments. I've done the courses and everything, but it's not until you give a treatment that you understand the depth and width and the power of Reiki. Like I've used it on a cancer patient who was you know end of life, and their veins were collapsing, and they had nurses trying to find a vein to put the needle in, and they couldn't find it. It was collapsed. And then they called another and another, and there were 6 nurses standing there trying to find the vein, and they brought a little, I don't know what machine to locate, and they still couldn't, and it was getting too much for me. So I just started giving distance Reiki, and they for 30 minutes they couldn't find a way. As soon as I started the distance Reiki, they found the vein.
Mhm.
Even in that completely end of the life moment, when the body was actually really, really, in the, lowest level, they found the vein. So I was amazed that Reiki can work, I don't know, anytime. Then I've had incidents like being on a train with my father, and he was very ill, collapsing, and there was no medical help. And I just needed him to be okay for a couple of hours till we reach in the morning and find a doctor.
Mhm.
I didn't know what to do. I was really scared because I thought he could become unconscious. Then there was nothing left to do. There was nothing over there. So I just started giving Reiki, and then I saw him start to sleep peacefully. I gave for probably 2 hours, and then I felt his breathing was okay. And then I also lay down in the morning, early morning. The train was about to reach the destination. I got I woke up and I saw him just having tea and reading newspaper. And I said, "Are you okay?" He says, "Yes." I said, "Do you know you almost died last night and you scared me to death?" But I tell you, Reiki is really, you don't know what Reiki will do when. I have
Mhm.
no idea. I'm still always discovering great experiences. What about you?
Me too. I just energy healing and Reiki, and you think you've seen the same situations over and over again, and then something new and entirely different will come up. And that's what I love about it. It's always evolving with you
Yes.
according to your abilities and what you're open to. And it's always changing. And so it's always interesting. And it's always challenging too.
Yeah, I've seen it work with the mental state. I've seen it work with habits. Of course, physical is the number one.
Hmm.
Relaxation.
Hmm.
It's and I've seen that when it works, when you work on a series on one person, it actually it's like adding to the old healing, as if
Yeah.
the thing is becoming better and better. So
Have you seen people really change their lives after giving them Reiki?
I don't think one session can, but yes, I had this one. I work with somebody, and his mother was really is old, and she has to wear diapers, because of incontinence.
Hmm.
And because of Ayurveda, he asked me what can they do for the mother, because it's always, I mean, it's difficult, living life like this. I said, look, with the age and everything and all the developments, I mean, breakdowns in the body, there comes a point where it's hard to reverse this issue of incontinence. And she was old. And I suggested she go to an Ayurvedic hospital, get her body, detoxed and everything. But at the same time, to accelerate it, I said, use Reiki.
Hmm.
And you know what he did? He used Reiki only for 4 months, every day.
Hmm.
And then I just one day checked and I said, so how's your mom doing? He said, she's fine, the diaper's off. I said, what? I said, did you go to the hospital? He says, no, no, we just used Reiki. And I said, really? He said, yeah, just every day she got Reiki and she stopped. Now, for an old person on diapers, that's a very big change.
Yeah, that's amazing. So anything, if you practice and use it consistently, keep using it, then the benefit builds upon itself over time.
It does. I'm
Yeah.
sure, as you know, I don't know if you've done Western Reiki or which one, but how Hawaii Takata, you know about her, right?
Yes. Hmm.
The one who brought Reiki to America. She had four diseases or issues, and she got them all healed through Reiki. She took 4 months of Reiki in Japan, morning and evening. And one of them was a tumor, and and she was supposed to get surgery in USA, and it finally they didn't need to because it got healed through the Reiki. But I don't think a one-off Reiki can heal it. It has to be a little bit consistent.
Yeah. And then the problem is people don't keep up with it. They'll have one session or two or maybe three, and then they stop.
I
You know.
think that their level of own, see, the way I see it, healing is a choice by the person themselves.
Yeah.
You can
Hmm.
be as you can be healed as much as you want, and if there's resistance within you, then maybe it's not the right time for you, because only you can open the gates of healing. It doesn't matter how many healers come to you, or even the angel comes down, they will not
Right.
heal you if you are not open to the healing.
Right. Hmm.
At some psychological level you have a resistance, and then you stop.
Hmm.
Doesn't matter whether it's Western healing or pills or surgery or Reiki or acupuncture or any kind of healing or yoga. Somewhere the person says, okay, I am not ready to move forward.
Hmm.
That's why it's very important for the person themselves to be involved in their own healing. I'm actually from a Hindu background, but there's one saying of Jesus which I actually used to think about it a lot. Ask and you shall receive. Jesus said
Hmm.
that. And
Hmm.
I said, why do you have to ask him? He knows my problems, right? I mean, technically, God should know all my problems. And if I say, okay, please help me, he should know what my problems and heal me. But no, when I've gone to these spiritual people, teachers, It's not like that. You know why you have to pray and he ask for help is so that you get interested in your own healing.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, God can heal you like this, but why should he heal you if you're unconscious inside? First, wake up, be attuned, aligned, be open. Because of course, when you heal, you get better and you can do greater things.
Mm-hmm.
But if you're not ready for that path, you're not ready for being aligned, you're not ready to dip into your true essence, then why should anything change for you?
I have this vision of the creator or the angels, listening to all of these running thoughts going through 7 billion minds and how they could actually tune into what you actually want, right?
They could,
That,
because they're not us.
right. But I
We are
think
not
that
angels.
what you're saying is asking for what you want puts an emphasis on it so they can hear it and say, oh, they really want this. Out of
I
all of the
would,
running commentary in your brain.
no, I don't think it's more than that. It's you permitting yourself to heal. They can heal you. All the plants can heal you. They
Mhm.
have the medicine. Everything in earth is there to heal you in nature. Who's stopping you? Nobody's stopping you. You yourself, we ourselves are stopping us.
Mhm.
There is unlimited knowledge, unlimited healing, and there's no, okay, this will heal or that. Everything can heal. Music can heal, breath can heal, plants can heal, Reiki can heal, thoughts can heal, prayers can heal, visualization can heal, doctors can heal, anything can heal. So, we are like nature. If you tune into nature, you are unlimited. If you tune yourself out, you become limited.
Mhm.
It's like that. So basically, it's like this. God says we are both have equal opportunity. God has equal opportunity to you, the person. So you have to exercise your power
You have to participate.
because God gave the creation, everything is great. From his point of view, everything is great.
Mhm.
Okay? The trees are great, the animals are great, and so are we supposed to be great, but we have tuned ourselves out.
Mhm.
Do you think the trees have tuned themselves out or the animals? No, they don't have the choice to tune in or tune out. They are tuned in.
Mhm.
We have a filter which allows us to tune out. So we ourselves have to tune in. It's the filter is with us.
We take more work.
No, because we're special. If you want to co-create, you have to have the power to not co-create, right?
Mhm.
Only then you can have power, right? You have to have the choice. The choice is you tune in or tune out, align or get disconnected. So that's why. That's how I understood his ask and you shall receive.
Mhm.
Because I have also read other books on chiropractors and things like that. And they said when the patient is interested and working with the therapist, the healing is at a different level. And when there's resistance, whether you go to a massage therapist or an acupuncture or a counselor, it's not the, if there is resistance, there's only limited amount of healing that can take place.
Mhm. Well, thank you for coming on the show and sharing your experiences. If you'd like to share with the audience how they can find you and contact you.
Yes. So I have a website, miraom.com, miraom.com. I have all my services as well as our teaching. I teach Ayurveda and Reiki as well on my website. I have also a podcast, Zen Time with Goddess of Healing on Spotify. And it's just to share again the knowledge of holistic healing, how the nature works, why we get anxious or angry or disconnected, and things like that. and how really it is quite simple to tune in with a little bit of correct knowledge and self awareness. It's possible to tune into alignment. And really, we can flourish in life with a little bit of attunement and alignment. It brings so much health and happiness and self awareness and how to tap into your own deeper essence. This is the
And
reward.
and do you have guests on your podcast?
Mostly it is for dissemination of all the learning that I have.
Mm-hmm.
So, unless someone has experienced what I have done and they would like to share, that's because I'm trying to bring out the holistic healing aspect
Okay.
that I have personally experienced and I'm very sure of.
Okay. Well, all of her information will be in the show notes, and reach out to her if you'd like to be connect with holistic healing, Reiki, or Ayurveda. And thank you for being on the show.
Thank you so much, Tina.
Okay.
It was a
Take care.
pleasure to be here. Thank you.